Imagine, for a moment, that there is a prayer so powerfully constructed, so perfectly attuned to the frequency of infinite intelligence, that in just 30 seconds, it can completely open the floodgates of divine abundance in your life. The great mystic and master of scientific prayer, Emmet Fox, did not invent this secret. Rather, he discovered it after years of profound, esoteric study into the hidden teachings of Christ. For decades, working from his ministry in New York City, Fox observed how thousands of ordinary men and women completely transformed their financial destinies using this one specific technique of spiritual treatment. Listen very closely. This is not about begging. It is not about pleading with a distant, withholding universe. It is about something much more profound. It is about consciously aligning your mind with the absolute, spiritual law of prosperity, a law that God established from the very beginning of creation. The difference between those who remain trapped in the painful cycle of lack and those who effortlessly demonstrate magnificent abundance does not lie in their personal merit. It does not lie in how hard they physically labor. It lies entirely in their understanding of how the divine mind operates. Fox taught a radical truth: poverty is simply an illusion. It is a shadow. It is a collective hypnotic spell created by erroneous, fearful thinking about our true spiritual nature. When you change your consciousness, the illusion of poverty must dissolve. This specific 30-second metaphysical treatment has been tested and proven by thousands of Fox's students for over 80 years. The results have been so consistent, so miraculous, that they completely defy all human logic and economic theory. Yet they perfectly confirm the immutable spiritual laws that Jesus encoded within his parables. Let us look at a real demonstration of this law. In the bitter winter of 1934, during the absolute darkest and most desperate days of the Great Depression, a woman named Margaret arrived at Emmet Fox's study. She was entirely broken. She had lost everything she had worked for: her beautiful home, her life savings, her standing in the community. She was terrified, and she lacked even the physical money to buy her next meal. Fox did not offer her pity. He offered her truth. He taught her this exact 30-second prayer, a scientific, spiritual treatment that would change the trajectory of her life forever. Margaret practiced this technique faithfully, in the silence of her own mind, for just one single week. On the 8th day, the law of supply manifested in her physical experience. She received a completely unexpected call offering her a position that tripled her previous income. But that was only the beginning. This was the start of a magnificent sequence of divine coincidences that led her, step by step, to recover everything she had lost and multiply it perfectly. What Margaret experienced was not blind luck. It was not mere chance. It was the direct, mathematical manifestation of the spiritual law that Fox had encoded into this specific prayer. When we align our internal consciousness with the divine truth of abundance, the external universe must respond according to that unchangeable law. It has no other choice. You see, the vast majority of humanity prays for money from a deeply rooted consciousness of lack. They pray from a feeling of emptiness, focusing intensely on the bills they cannot pay and the resources they do not have. And that is exactly why their prayers fail. The universe can only mirror back your dominant state of mind. Fox taught that we must pray from a consciousness of absolute, overflowing abundance, recognizing that we are already heirs to all divine riches by our spiritual birthright. This 30-second prayer does not attempt to convince God to give you something you lack. God is not holding anything back from you. Its true purpose is to awaken your own sleeping consciousness to the magnificent reality that infinite supply is already yours. It is a spiritual treatment that acts as a solvent, systematically dissolving every limiting belief, every ancestral fear, and every subconscious block you hold about money. When you pray scientifically, you are not asking infinite intelligence to change your external, physical circumstances. You are simply allowing the divine truth of abundance to express itself through your newly transformed mind. The change always occurs first within the invisible realm of consciousness, and only then is it out, pictured into the physical world of bank accounts and opportunities. The crucial distinction, the secret that separates success from failure, lies in praying from absolute faith, not crippling fear, from deep gratitude, not desperate anxiety, from the majestic recognition of your divine nature, not from the false belief in human limitation. During his 40 glorious years of ministry, Fox proved that this prayer works because it is based on scientific spiritual principles, not blind, wishful thinking. It perfectly combines three fundamental elements of manifestation. Now, we reach the very heart of this revelation. We are going to reveal the exact, precise spiritual treatment that Emmet Fox taught to his most dedicated and advanced students. This is not a string of empty words. It is a scientific formula for the demonstration of prosperity. This specific technique must be practiced for exactly 30 seconds every single morning. It must be done immediately upon waking, in that sacred twilight moment before the intellect fully engages, when your subconscious mind is wide open and most violently receptive to deep, spiritual impressions. I want you to listen to these words. Feel their vibration. Speak them slowly in your mind, and with absolute, unquestionable authority. Do not rush through this treatment. Every single word in this prayer is a container of spiritual power, carrying a very specific metaphysical purpose. When you declare, "God is my infinite source," you are formally severing the psychological cord that ties your financial security to your employer, to the economy, or to your bank account. You are establishing your direct, unbreakable link to the limitless divine supply. When you say "flows to me right now," you are activating the law of manifestation in the present tense. In the divine mind, there is no tomorrow. There is only the eternal NOW. You are not hoping for money next year. You are claiming your prosperity in this very second. And when you state, "I receive with deep gratitude," you are physically and mentally opening your spiritual channels. You are dropping the mental resistance so the physical abundance may finally enter your life. To demonstrate true, undeniable results in your physical world, Fox insisted that you must follow the technique exactly as he designed it. There are 3 vital steps to this morning practice. Step 1 is the pause. Upon waking, before you look at your phone, before you worry about the day, remain in your bed for 1 extra minute. Breathe deeply. Quiet the fearful human intellect and connect consciously with the indwelling Christ, that perfect, silent, divine presence that always dwells within you. Step 2 is the proclamation. Speak the 30-second prayer slowly. Let the gravity of every word sink deeply into the fertile soil of your consciousness. As you speak, Fox recommended a powerful visualization. See a brilliant, warm, golden light flowing from your heart outward, saturating your entire room. This light represents the invisible substance of divine abundance, organizing itself to manifest tangibly in your life. Step 3 is the silence. After speaking the sacred words, do not immediately jump up. Rest in total silence for 30 additional seconds. Feel a profound, anticipatory gratitude. Feel the relief of knowing that the abundance is already on its way to you. This feeling of the wish fulfilled is the true secret of scientific faith. But what if you cannot wait 21 days? Fox knew that sometimes his students faced sudden, terrifying financial emergencies. A looming foreclosure, an unexpected medical bill, a devastating loss of income. For these desperate moments, he developed an advanced, intensive emergency treatment. If you are facing an urgent crisis right now, you must not panic. Panic is simply a demonstration of deep fear which only attracts more lack. Instead, you must use this specific emergency prayer, repeating it silently every single hour throughout the day, to completely cut through the terror. Fox carefully documented cases to prove this law. He recorded the story of Thomas, a man who had lost his business and was 3 days away from the violent foreclosure of his family home. Thomas was paralyzed by fear, but he applied this intensive emergency technique, praying it every single hour, violently rejecting the appearance of poverty. On the 3rd day, the exact day the bank was to take his home, Thomas received a call from an entirely unknown investor. This stranger not only purchased what was left of his business, but paid him a massive consulting fee. The amount was the exact, precise sum required to save his home and restore his absolute financial dignity. Fox explained to his congregation that this was not a miracle. God does not break his own laws to perform magic tricks. This was simply the natural, mechanical operation of spiritual law, responding perfectly to a mind that refused to accept defeat and allied itself entirely with infinite intelligence.